Good morning, everybody. I've got 10 o'clock and we have just crested over 100 participants. So they're going to keep rolling in, but we'll go ahead and get started to respect your time. Thank you all for joining us today. My name's John Copey, and with me today is Wendy Sager. We're the sales counselors at Westminster-Canterbury of the Blue Ridge, are often referred to as WCBR. During today's webinar, we're going to detail the three pathways that are available at WCBR: the Compass Club, Ready Now waiting lists, as well as the Early Advantage program. Now, as we launch in today's topic, we're going to turn off our video so that you can turn your full attention to the information that we're presenting today. And we'll also come back on when we have a Q&A session at the end. So our agenda today will include expected wait time for WCBR availability, our two waiting lists, the Compass Club and Ready Now, and then our non-residential program, Early Advantage. So most people want to know, how long is the wait for a residence at WCBR? In fact, that is usually one of the first questions that we're asked. Well, now, while predicting how long the wait will be before your desired residence type will become available to you is not an exact science. We can make our best educated guess based on how many residences we get back each year on average, the residence type, and the number of people we have on our waiting list who also want certain things. We'll expect about on average 24 residences to remarket each year. This is a prediction based on actuarial data. In my time here at WCBR, we've had anywhere between 18 and 39 residences come back to us in a given year, but the average expectation is around 24. Those that we do get back will be a mixture of cottages, apartments of all shapes and sizes. About 70% of those on our waiting list desire a larger residence with 2 bedrooms and a den over 1,600 square feet. So the wait time for those types of residences will be a little bit longer than those that are smaller. And our best guess as of now is that it will likely be about 2 to 3 years for that size. And approximately, 2 to 3 years for a smaller apartment under 1,000 square feet. Pardon me. For anything over 1,600 square feet with 2 bedrooms and a den, it will likely be greater than 5 years to wait. The larger it is, the longer the wait. Anything in between 1,000 and 1,600 square feet will probably be along the lines of 3 to 4 years. Again, this is our best educated guess, not an exact time frame. So now let's talk about our waiting lists. WCBR has 2 waiting lists. One is our preliminary waiting list for those who are just starting to explore or who haven't made a decision yet about where they would like to move or when. And the other is our priority waiting list for those who have decided that they would like to move to WCBR and are ready when the opportunity arises. Now I'll talk about both waiting lists in more detail, starting with our preliminary waiting list called Compass Club. Compass Club is the perfect first step to take when considering a retirement community. This is a great way for you to learn more about WCBR and make sure that we are the right fit for you. There is a $1,000 fully refundable deposit required to join the Compass Club. Compass Club members will receive an email from us monthly with the latest WCBR news, feature articles, invitations, and the WCBR Happenings newsletter. Members will receive special invitations to attend select WCBR events, as well as exclusive Compass Club events. This will give members an opportunity to engage with residents and to observe the level of quality that WCBR brings to our programming and catered events. Compass Club members will also be invited to attend a WCBR signature event called the Parade of Homes. During this event, guests will tour one apartment home in each of our 3 apartment buildings and one of our cottage homes. This event provides a very unique way to see different residences where people live. See how they have them furnished and be able to ask them questions like, why did you choose WCBR? What do you love the most about living here? Compass Club membership also will give you access to our priority waiting list once you have chosen WCBR as your future home and are ready to move as soon as your preferred residence types is available to you. Compass Club membership also provides access to our Early Advantage program. We'll discuss Early Advantage later on in the presentation. Our second waiting list, Ready Now, is our priority waiting list. Just like the title suggests, this list is for those who have decided that WCBR is the right fit for them and are ready to move to WCBR when their preferred residence types is available to them. Membership in the Ready Now program requires a 10% deposit towards the largest residence that you would accept when offered. That is 10% of the standard entrance fee of a specific residence type. For example, if the entrance fee for the largest of your preferred residence types is $500,000, the 10% deposit would be $50,000. This deposit will be credited towards the entrance fee of the independent living residence when you have accepted a specific residence and you sign the Life Care Residency Agreement. Ready Now members select their preferred residences. These are the specific floor plans that they would accept when offered. Ready Now members can select as many floor plans as they want. And up to 3 exclusions may be included. An exclusion is any specific characteristic that would make a residence undesirable to you. This could be something like a specific sun exposure or direction. It could be excluding the first floor apartments or top floor apartments. Maybe it's a feature like a single sink vanity in the primary bathroom. Any of these could be listed as exclusions if it's important enough to you that you would decline the offer. When a residence becomes available, we will offer to Ready Now members in order of enrollment priority. We will only be contacting Ready Now members for their preferred residence types. We will not contact Ready Now members for residences that they have not designated by them as preferred or who have an applicable exclusion for that residence. A Ready Now member may decline an offer only one time without financial penalty and without losing their place on the Ready Now list. When a member declines a second offer, their Ready Now membership will terminate. The member will also forfeit 50% of the Ready Now deposit. At that time, they may decide to return to the Compass Club, or they may request a refund of their Compass Club $1,000 deposit. Ready Now members may terminate their agreement upon 30 days written notice at any time. The member will receive a full refund less a 4% administrative fee. For an example, using the same scenario mentioned a moment ago, where a Ready Now member submitted a 10% deposit based on the entrance fee of their largest preferred residence of $500,000. The Ready Now deposit was $50,000, so the 4% administrative fee would be $2,000 if that member decided to terminate the Ready Now agreement. An exception will be made in cases where there has been a change in the health or finances of a member that would preclude them from moving to WCBR. Also, in the case when a member or spouse is going through a significant health crisis. In these cases, a full refund would be granted. If you are already on Compass Club and have decided that you are ready to move forward and join the Ready Now list, please let us know right away.
Now we will be shifting gears from talking about waiting lists to talking about a different WCBR program offering. Early Advantage. Early Advantage is a non-residential program where members live off campus in their own home with the ability to enjoy the amenities and benefits of campus while they wait for a future opportunity to move in. The purpose of Early Advantage is to secure future access to WCBR higher levels of care. If there is a change in health status before moving to WCBR, members have the ability to move directly to a higher level of care, whether temporarily or permanently. Availability to move directly into a higher level of care from outside of the community is a very rare occurrence, if not a member of this program. Only WCBR residents and Early Advantage members can count on it. Future care is one of the main reasons that people want to move to a retirement community. So this is what makes Early Advantage so desirable. The biggest advantage of this program for Early Advantage members is the peace of mind for future care needs. Residents moving to independent living at WCBR must be medically appropriate and approved for independent living. One major concern for folks is, what if something happens to my health and it changes before I can move in? As I just mentioned, it is very rare that someone from outside of the community can move directly into a care area at WCBR. So apart from being a resident or being an Early Advantage member, it is not something you can count on. The other things we hear frequently is, I'm not ready to move from my current home. I want to stay at home as long as possible. Early Advantage is the answer to both of these considerations. It gives priority access to our care areas, and it allows more flexibility for those who aren't quite ready to make the move, but don't want to worry about who will provide the care in the future. Another major benefit of Early Advantage membership is you will have opportunities for higher levels of engagement more than any other non-resident. Members have access to outstanding amenities like our fitness and aquatic center, dining, lectures, performances, parties, and much more. And of course, members have priority access to quality skilled care, assisted living, and memory care, as well as access to our health clinic with our board certified UVA affiliated medical director, geriatrician, and geriatric nurse manager. Nurse practitioner. Early Advantage members will remain on the preliminary waiting list. If on the Ready Now list, Early Advantage members will have the opportunity to select a residence in independent living as it becomes available to them, provided they still meet the medical qualifications. If they do, the Early Advantage entrance fee will be applied towards the independent living entrance fee. Or, in the event of a permanent placement in a care area, the Early Advantage entrance fee covers life care privileges versus a per diem agreement. Also, the entrance fee and monthly fee for Early Advantage may be tax deductible, depending on individual circumstances, as prepaid medical expenses. Now let's talk about the membership requirements for Early Advantage. First, an Early Advantage member must be a Compass Club or Ready Now member. Only waitlist members are offered this opportunity. Secondly, a member must receive a financial approval for residency at WCBR. And a member must be medically approved as appropriate for independent living at the time of acceptance to the Early Advantage program. Now let's take a look at the Early Advantage program fees. As you can see on our chart, our current pricing for fiscal year 2026 per person includes an entrance fee of $90,000 and a monthly membership fee of $800 for one person. So for a couple, It is $180,000 for the entrance fee and monthly fees totaling $1,600 per month. When an Early Advantage member is admitted to a care area rather than independent living, a healthcare monthly fee will be applied. The current monthly fee for an Early Advantage member admitted to a care area is $9,850 per month. Let me now provide you with a summary of benefits for Early Advantage members. Early Advantage members have priority access to WCBR's excellent care continuum, the most important benefit of all. Members also have unlimited access to our outstanding amenities, including the fitness center and dining venues, and the ability to participate in WCBR events, programs, and activities, offering the highest level of access for any non-resident. If this sounds great to you, I'd like to tell you how to apply. First, in order to apply for Early Advantage, you must be a Compass Club member. Please contact John or myself if you would like to know how to join Compass Club. The Early Advantage program has a limited number of members, which means we have a waiting list. The current wait time to join Early Advantage is likely about 4 years, based on the number of people who have already applied. There is no fee to join the Early Advantage waiting list. If interested, you would fill out a quick application to be added to the list. We know this has been a lot of information that we have covered today, all of which may have been completely new to some of you. So we'd like to conclude with a summary before we get to your questions. We talked about Compass Club, WCBR's preliminary waiting list for those who want to learn more about WCBR and who are not yet ready to make a move. Members receive monthly communications and exclusive invitations, as well as access to both Early Advantage and Ready Now programs. Compass Club requires a $1,000 fully refundable deposit. We also talked about Ready Now, WCBR's priority waiting list. This list is for those who are ready to move to WCBR when their preferred residence is available to them. Now, Ready Now requires a 10% deposit for the largest preferred residence. Lastly, we talked about Early Advantage, a non-residential contract that secures your access to higher levels of care before you move in. Membership in Early Advantage gives the highest level of access available to a non-resident, including full access to the fitness center, campus amenities and programming, and access to our 4 dining venues at cost. Membership in Early Advantage requires an entrance fee and a monthly fee. All members must be financially and medically approved prior to entering the program. And now we'll be turning our videos back on to take your questions. Please type any that you have in the Q&A section, but please remember to keep the questions to questions clarifying about our topic today. Any questions that are on a different topic than what we covered today, or that might be specific to your own situation, we ask that you connect with us individually at another time. All right, so let me pull up the Q&A. So only 2 so far, so let me read what we have. What is your definition of ready now? Certain number of months. I'm at a distance and would prefer to sell my home before moving to Charlottesville. John, you want to get that?
Yeah, thanks, Wendy. Susan, thank you very much for your question. What I would probably say to that, the answer to would be typically a new home is turned over in about 3 months from the time an offer is made to you until it is ready to be inhabited and for us to hand the keys to you. It definitely does depend on the level of the renovations that need to be done, but on average, I would say about 3 months from start to finish. So when an offer is made to you, and you'll know whether or not you're closer to the top of the list based on our conversations and when that might be coming. So if you haven't already, I might enlist a realtor, have them in your back pocket so that you know what needs to be done to your home, and they'll be anxiously waiting for you to list it.
Next question. I'm confused about the Early Advantage healthcare fee. When does it start? That's a great question and a common question. So as an Early Advantage member, you're paying a monthly fee. And that monthly fee right currently is $800 per month. If you are admitted to a WCBR healthcare area, then that's when the healthcare fee would start, the $98.50. If for some reason your stay would be a doctor ordered, Medicare approved stay, let's say in our rehab section, then Medicare would be covering the fee and the $98.50 would not apply. So the $98.50 applies to the private pay scenario that is not covered by Medicare. So that's when the fee would start. Next question. Do Early Advantage fees start only when accepted to that program, i.e. not on the waiting list? Correct. There's no fee to join the waiting list for Early Advantage, and you do not pay any fees until you are accepted to the program and you sign your agreement. Next question. If I'm an Early Advantage, will space in a care level be guaranteed if needed?
The answer is yes, just as a resident would be.
For Early Advantage, who decides when the member gets admitted as a resident to the healthcare level needed? That decision is based upon a doctor's recommendation, including if there's a specialist involved, another primary care physician involved, of course, our medical director, and the team, the whole team in our healthcare center that is a part of those types of decisions, of course, with the consultation with the member. Next question from Denise. Are you still calling people for Ready Now?
Yes, Denise, we are. Wendy and I, other than a webinar today, are spending all of our time reaching out to folks. We received just under 200 applications by December 31st. So we're making phone calls and then setting up appointments to take next steps with folks. So don't worry, I will get to you.
All right, next question from Barry. Does Early Advantage provide early access priority similar to Ready Now? Great question, Barry. I'm glad you asked it. It does not. So Early Advantage does not move anybody up onto Ready Now or higher priority. The priority for Ready Now is based upon when you joined. So the Early Advantage does not increase your priority. It does provide you additional benefits, but not an increase in priority for independent living residences. Next question. When would it be appropriate to join both Ready Now and Early Advantage?
That's another good question. And my answer, I hope, would apply to everybody yesterday. But I think not knowing who this is or your situation, definitely reach out to Wendy or myself so that we can look at your individual situation so that we can help you decide that. Both are going to take care of your future, peace of mind. So I would encourage everybody to join both, or at least join both wait lists for those, but your situation is going to be different than everybody else that's attending today.
All right, next question from Jane. Initially, Early Advantage was only offered to people at the top of the Compass Club list. Sounds like you're just now taking applications. Jane, when we rolled out the Early Advantage program, we did initially offer it to Compass Club members in order of priority. And now the Compass Club members, the ones that have not joined or filled out an application of interest, we are accepting applications from anybody who would like to join. So anybody who joins the Early Advantage waiting list now will be added in the order their application is received. Next question, does the Compass Club membership expire?
It does not until you request a refund, if and when that happens.
All right, what is the relationship of the Early Advantage fee of $180,000 to the charge for the residence type on entrance to WCBR? And just to clarify, $180,000 would be the total for two people. The per person entrance fee for Early Advantage for this fiscal year is $90,000. So if you're one person on Early Advantage, your entrance fee is $90,000. When you are offered a residence in independent living and you still qualify for independent living, that Early Advantage entrance fee will be deducted from your independent living entrance fee. If when you're ready to move to WCBR and you have a change in your health status where you are no longer appropriate for independent living, the entrance fee for Early Advantage will be applied to your life care contract, moving directly to a care area. Next question, do Compass Club and Ready Now members have access to campus amenities such as dining, lectures, transportation to offsite activities, etc.?
So you are invited to come to campus for both programs. Dining is available at your cost, but keep in mind for those two categories, Compass Club and Ready Now, there are some restrictions as far as Monday through Friday. We reserve weekends and holidays for our residents to use for dining. Lectures, we have will classes, we have OLLI classes that are held here. You do need a member of OLLI to join that. As far as transportation offsite activities, we would reserve space for our residents first. And if we do have space, say to a field trip or excursion to Richmond, you're welcome to add your name to the list. And if we have space, absolutely. So please come join us for as many things on campus. Each of you, as a Compass Club member already now, are still receiving our campus newsletter each month called Happenings, and you can see what those programs look like.
All right, Jack asks, if we've already paid a 10% deposit for Ready Now, does that qualify us for Early Advantage? Thanks for your question, Jack. The Ready Now list, the Waiting Now priority waiting list membership is completely separate from Early Advantage. So it would require a separate fee, and you would have to apply for Early Advantage. So if you haven't already submitted an application for Early Advantage consideration when a spot opens up, I would encourage you to do that. There's no harm in doing it. It doesn't, there's no additional fee to join the Early Advantage waiting list, and it is something you definitely can consider in the future if the opportunity is offered to you based on how long you've been on our waiting list and how long it might be before an independent living residence might be offered to you. So something that additional that you could consider, but you might want to consider to join the Early Advantage waiting list. Heather asks, are the financial and medical tests for Early Advantage applied to joining the waiting list for Early Advantage or when you are accepted to the Early Advantage program?
I got it.
Thank
Good
you.
question, and both for Early Advantage, and then I'll talk a little bit about moving into independent living. You can give us an application for Early Advantage, but until we make the offer for you and or two in your household, at that point, once membership has been offered to you for Early Advantage, that's when the medical review would take place. We would also do a financial review again with more detailed information, backup documentation, just as if you were moving into independent living. So it's done at that time. And then once you're an early advantage member, and it might be several years later that you move into independent living, the same financials and medical review would be done again. For Ready Now, we're not doing either of those. You had to have been a Compass Club member, so a financial application would have been completed. So we have an idea of what's within your means, but it's premature for us to do a medical review, not knowing when that next offer for a home would happen.
All right, a couple of questions about the tax deductibility of the early advantage fees, and I'll address those. So the entire entrance fee of early advantage and the entire monthly fee for early advantage are considered prepaid medical expenses. And currently, unless the code has changed and I'm not aware of it, there is a tax deduction for prepaid medical expenses. Now, it will depend upon your own circumstances as to the portion that might be a tax deduction. We do provide, and it's very similar to similar but different to what we offer independent living residents. The entire fee in independent living is not a tax deduction, but we do provide both residents and early advantage members a letter annually. This comes from our finance office that tells you what portion would be a tax deduction, and that letter can be given to your tax provider. So please consult your tax provider for any more questions on that portion of it. If you would like a copy of that letter, please reach out to John or myself individually. We'd be happy to send you the last one that we sent out. Okay. Lynn asks, what happens to your $90,000 early advantage deposit if something happens to you and you are unable to move to WCBR, or if you move to healthcare? So if something happens, if I'm not sure of the first question in terms of if you're not able to move to WCBR, the entrance fee would apply to either independent living entrance fee if you're still appropriate for independent living, or it would be applied to your life care contract entering the care area. One can cancel a membership. The entrance fee, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, the entrance fee does decline to zero refund over a period of time, and I believe it's
50 months.
50 months.
2% a month.
And so if you cancel your early advantage membership fee before 50 months occurs from the time you join, you would receive whatever portion was remaining. After 50 months, there would be no refund due from your entrance fee, but you would give a 30-day notice to cancel, and then at the 30-day time, your monthly fee would end. Okay. Okay, answered that question. Sorry, I'm just reviewing the questions. Pete, are you interviewing for Ready Now by order on the list?
We are
John,
trying,
explain the
Pete.
method to our madness. Explain
So,
it.
so there's a dartboard behind me now. So what we're doing, Pete, is we're trying in sequential order. So all those applications that came in by December 31st, we have put them in their priority position based on 1 through 200, where you were on the Compass Club. Wendy and I are trying to start at number 1 and get to number 200. Not everybody answers the phone or their email as soon as we reach out to them. So we continue. I know I've had somebody near the bottom who has already signed because of their availability and my schedule, and I'm still making calls. Like Denise had asked, are we still making phone calls? Yes. There's only so many hours in a day, but we're trying to accomplish this as quickly as we can. So if you haven't heard from us, we will get to you. But we're trying to do them in order, but we're going to wait until we have all of those applicants turned into agreements, and then we'll announce to everybody when Ready Now goes live, and we'll be operating under those terms.
Thank you for your patience for those of you who are waiting for a phone call. We appreciate that. All right. For early advantage, what happens if only my spouse needs health care and I can still live independently? Do I stay at my home or can I move in at the independent level? If you're living in your current home and you and your spouse are both members of Early Advantage, and your spouse will need to move to a care area, then your spouse would move to the care area. As long as you were still appropriate for independent living, when a residence is offered to you, then you would be offered that opportunity to move to independent living. So you would move to independent as long as you're still independent, and your spouse would reside in the care area. Beauty is you're still on the same campus, and we're still WCBR is the home for both of you. Okay, next question. Has the Ready Now program affected the wait list time for Compass Club members?
So as I mentioned, my last answer was Ready Now hasn't started yet. Wendy and I are reaching out to folks. People are signing their agreements. So when all of those have been accomplished, then Ready Now procedures will start. But if you're going to remain on the Compass Club and not join Ready Now, depending on where you were on the Compass Club list, I would say it is most likely going to extend your wait, and we'd be happy to talk about your individual circumstances and your wishes for the future.
All right, Marcia asks, if we've been in Compass Club for a few years and moving up on the list, but haven't been called yet, do Ready Now and Early Advantage members, all accepted more recently, now gain priority over us? Marcia, thank you for the question, and other people may have this same question. We have been promoting, talking about not Early Advantage, Ready Now since November of last year. We've been providing multiple educational sessions in the form of webinars and in-person meetings. We have sent out the webinar recordings to all Compass Club members in emails and provided this information. The opportunity to join Ready Now in order to retain your priority number was offered to Compass Club members. And again, we made this information widely known through postal mail, emails, in-person meetings, and Zoom meetings. Compass Club members had the month of December to fill out an application to be added to our Ready Now list and retain your priority number. So that was the window, and the window closed as of December 31st. So anybody who did not join Ready Now within the month of December, or I take that back, anybody who didn't fill out the application within the month of December can still join Ready Now, but you'll be joining in the order that your application is received. We have gotten some applications since then and are starting to accumulate those, and we'll get to the newer applications after we've completed the first set that were submitted in December. So yes, in order to have priority access, a member would be on Ready Now. And so anytime you can join Ready Now, some people were not ready to join Ready Now. And this program is for people who have decided, yes, Westminster-Canterbury is for them. And when they're called for their desired and preferred residence, they will say yes. So that's what the program's all about. One of the reasons why we did this webinar, because we wanted to provide a deep dive into these programs and a review. If you would like any further details, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to meet with you one-on-one. Okay. Dan asks, is there a penalty for turning down Early Advantage when offered? Do you lose your priority position?
Good question, Dan. So there's no financial penalty. If you are offered Early Advantage membership and you say no, and you would wish to still be in contention, your name will go to the bottom of the list, of the wait list. So there are many people already on that wait list, and so you would then lose your current spot. You would go back to the bottom of the list. So when you say, do you lose your priority position? Depends on if you're a Ready Now member, Compass Club member, those positions would not change, but early advantage membership, you'd be at the bottom of the wait list at that point.
All right. Scott has a question. And John, if you could write his name down so we can get this to him. He asks, Early Vantage application form, is it available online? It's not, Scott, but we would be happy to send that to you. And so we'll jot ourselves a note and send that in an email. So anybody who would like an Early Advantage application form or Ready Now application form, please reach out to John or myself. We'd be happy to send that to you. All right. I think this is the last. Nope. Okay. Okay. John, see if you can interpret this, please. Tarina asks, if an early Vantage member gets accepted into a higher level of care, is there any fee in addition to the member health care fee? Um,
I'll
thank you.
address it, I think.
Thank you.
And Tarina,
Thank
again, if this doesn't answer your question, let me know, send me an email, call me, and I will dive a little bit deeper. So as we mentioned earlier, the fee to join Early Advantage as a single person is $90,000. That is the only entrance fee. Then if you move directly into a care area permanently, that takes care of the life care fee. The monthly fee that you're paying currently as an Early Advantage member is $800 per person. That would rise if you move in permanently to $9,850 per person per month, whether it's assisted living, memory support, or skilled nursing. So again, there's no additional entrance fee to have the life care contract. The monthly fee would be adjusted to a care area fee. And so that would be changing the day that you move into that, whichever care area is necessary.
All right, a couple of questions regarding the Early Advantage waiting list. There's no limit to the number of people who can be on the Early Advantage waiting list. There is a limited number of people who can be in the Early Advantage program. So that's the distinction between those two things. So the waiting list, no limit for that, but the membership, yes, there is a limit. I believe we have 100 and maybe 15 applications on Early Advantage right now. We currently have 38 members of our Early Advantage program that is at full capacity right now. We will be adding an additional number. We don't know what that number is yet, but July 1, we'll be adding additional members to Early Advantage. And so we will go to the applications and start from there. So likely, I think about 115, something like that.
Yeah.
The people who were on the Early Advantage waiting list who have subsequently been offered a residence here have come off the list. So it does shift. So again, there's no downside to joining the waiting list. All right. Here's a question from Jennings. Will Compass Club alone ever get you in?
The answer is it is certainly possible, but it's going to be more likely if you're on the Ready Now list. What Wendy and I will do is when a new home, apartment, or cottage comes our way, we're going to look at everyone's preferences on the Ready Now list for those members. We'll look at their exclusions and then reach out to the household that is a good match. If we exhaust the entire Ready Now membership, then we will go to the Compass Club list. And in that priority order, call folks that may be interested and may be ready for it. So we will get to that, but our hope is that we're going to find our next resident from the Ready Now list.
All right, one more question before we end for today. Denise asks, any plans to offer a webinar on financial information? In the in-person meeting, it was mentioned that the tax advisors provide info on loans or medical tax deduction. Denise, I am always looking for suggestions on webinar topics. And so I'll check into that. But for now, Please connect with, I believe you're working with John, so please connect with John to deep dive into that for now. But thanks for the suggestion. Always looking for topics to spend some more time in. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Any questions that we didn't get to that were specific to your own situation, please reach out to us directly and we'll be happy to answer those with you. We thank you for your time today and hope this webinar was helpful to you. This is our first time doing it. We'll do it again. We're going to have the recording available. So if you'd like a copy of it or you'd like us to share it with somebody you know, please let us know. Have a great rest of your day and thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.